So Quasar's not an A-lister, you don't think?
Quasar's not an A-lister. In my heart, he's an A-lister. Forever and ever and ever.
Here we go again with the next episode of Comic Books and Cold Ones. This is K-Mac, and I'm here with...
Yak, how's everybody out there doing in podcast land tonight? I hope you liked our last episodes. We're back from our Summit Convocations here. Already moving into August, looking out towards fall, and all the fun that's coming out in beer land and comic book land, and we're excited to be back with you.
Yeah, and that last episode was so long, it definitely felt like we took a convocation. That
was
one
restful.
was a beast. And it's fitting for the Savage Land episode to be a beast.
You got to travel a long ways down there. It's not easy to get to these places. Not to Parbat, Savage Land. Take your time, stop off, see the sights along the way, see where the master of the world lives, stop off, see Gorilla City, and some of the sights and sounds before you actually get to where you're going to for your convocations.
Right, and then there's a little bit of fighting for your life involved with that too.
Fight your way back, because when you get down there, your way of getting back ain't going to be the same.
No way. So Yak, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you this week?
Doing pretty good this week. I'm really, really looking forward to this episode. I've been thinking about an episode like this since we first started. So why don't you tell everyone what we're doing today?
Well, before we get to that episode, I want to just remind everybody out there in podcast land that we have an email address that is cbcopodcast@gmail.com. That's cbcopodcast@gmail.com. Email us with all your hate emails, your love, your funny quips, whatever you think we're doing right, whatever we're doing wrong, show ideas, and definitely beer ideas. And also new for this show, K-Mac, tell them all those kids out there what we got.
And, I got so excited about this episode that I forgot about this step. But we also have a Twitter account. It's at CBCO_podcast. So just like our email, except for Twitter.
For all those Alpha Flight fans out there, that is not the Canadian Broadcasting Company of Ontario. That is Comic Books and Cold Ones podcast. So don't confuse us with the CBC of Canada while you're trying to get a hold of Puck or Sasquatch and or North Star. That's a whole other organization.
Right. We had to fight him for that. So don't get us confused. And this podcast is also hosted through Buzzsprout. So if anyone's familiar with Buzzsprout, you can head to that website and find the podcast there as well. And we're looking at also, expanding to other social media platforms as we go through with this. So, reach out to us through any of these. And like Yek said, comic book ideas for shows, beer ideas for shows for sure. And then just anything else you think we'd like to hear about. We'd be really glad to hear from anyone. And that being said, now, Yek, tell us about today's show topic.
So as this summer rolls on and move into the dog days of summer, lots of people out there in the world are looking to do their fantasy football drafts, thinking about who they want to pick in the first round to try to win nominal dollars from their friends while drinking beer themselves. And this podcast comes partially inspired by that. We are looking at doing a fantasy draft, as was mentioned by Rafi in the league, where we draft fantasy comic book people to form our ultimate teams, going back and forth. And today we are looking at one of the top teams to draft a lot of people from, and that is the Marvel Universe's The Avengers.
Right. And since the Avengers are pretty much the most popular superhero team around these days, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe going on and I guess on pause right now, but it just seemed like we would have the most fun doing this, and people would probably have the most fun listening to something like this. So I'm really pumped about this.
Everybody likes talking about Avengers Avenging, and that's what we're going to be doing today, and choosing our favorites and then matching them up to see who has the best team possibles.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be much of a contest, but I've done leagues with Yek before. It usually doesn't work out for him.
Well, that's because you didn't do a fantasy draft. Especially in my wheelhouse of leagues, Avengers League.
Yeah, that you do make a good point. You are definitely more of an Avengers expert than I am. When we do an X-Men draft, I feel like I might have the upper hand there.
You may have a little bit of an advantage,
closer.
Except when I choose Kitty Pryde and beat you soundly, but not Kitty Pryde is Kitty Pryde, but Kitty Pryde is Sprout.
Yeah, unstoppable.
All right, to kick this off, though, we need to get some beers before we go over these draft rules for everybody. And it's that summertime of year, so we're still looking at some fun beers here. I will let K Mac tell you what he's drafting to. And remember, we try to theme these beers a little bit with what we're doing in each podcast. So if you have ideas to give us, we always look for good ideas. We also like to try out new things, and we support local breweries as much as we can. But we also like the big macro breweries because we're looking at macro teams like the Avengers who take on macro problems.
Right. But I got microbrews today, unfortunately. And there have been micro Avengers teams that have handled street level problems too, that have had some pretty good lineups. So I I think I'm going there with that one. So what I'm going to start with, and I may end up moving to a different one, but they're both brewed by Mason Ale Works out of San Diego, California. And I'm going to start with Peer
West Coast
Pressure.
Avengers.
West Coast Avengers. West Coast.
Throw those W's up, kids.
Hawkeye. So the first one I'm going to be drinking is called Peer Pressure. And when you're in one of these drafts, definitely feel a lot of pressure. Like if someone takes the guy or gal or superhero you want right before you take them, all of a sudden you're tilting and you're feeling the pressure of, who the heck am I going to take next? So this is a dry, is it a dry IPA? Is that what they call it? Well, I'll just say it's 7.6 ABV. So it's a pretty powerful one. It's a hazy IPA.
It's 7.6. That's like the one demand of the Thor level of strength.
And it's a hazy IPA. And I usually don't like IPAs, but I really like this one. It's really
So it's
good.
the
And
hazy East Coast style pale ale that's taken over the country. Even though it's
right,
coming from
West
the West
Coast.
Coast, it's East Coast. He's covering all the bases except for the Great Lake Avengers.
Right. And since it's Mason Ale Works, it has a Mason's hammer on it, which looks a lot like Mjolnir.
Mjolnir being the mystical hammer that Thor swings for you kids out there.
Yes, and some other people too. What do you got today?
Well, I also am going with a pale ale, but this is a double dry hopped, double India pale ale by
Jeez.
Aslan Beer Company of Alexandria and Herndon, Virginia. So they got two places. I think one's the brewery and one's the brew pub. It's a little beer going by the name of Rocket Surgery.
Oh, jeez.
So just like Tony Stark works on Quinjets and Donald Blake, Thor's alter ego, works on human beings, we combine the best of everything in Rocket Surgery, which is what the skills we need to defend the universe as Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers. And this bad boy is kicking in at 8.5% alcohol.
Yeah, you're above Wonder Man and Thor levels there. You're at Hulk
Oh yeah,
levels.
yeah, I'm coming in full Thor, not full Hulk, but full Thor level of strength here. But I'm really interested. I've never really had a double dry hopped double pale ale. Double dry hop means they put in the hops after the boil, but they put in twice as many hops. That's the double part. And then the double pale ale means it's twice as strong in alcohol. So that's a unique uh, combination here. And just to remind you kids out there, if you want to look at what beers we're drinking, you can go to our Buzzsprout site and look up all the information on the breweries and the beers that we drink during these podcasts, and with links to those breweries as well as reviews by the beer nerds out there at beeradvocate.com to learn more about everything about them. We list the APV, IBUs, hops, or any other information we can get off the can, and also link you to the breweries if you're interested in trying any of these. With that said,
Well, and you can also, once this podcast is posted on Twitter, it also have a mention of the brewery that makes these beers that we're drinking. And yeah, those are also in the show notes, right? So if you're on Apple Podcasts,
all the show notes, anything you want, it's right there. Click on it. Look at the beer. Look what the beer nerds say. We rate them ourselves and how they go well with talking comic books, but the beer nerds may not be talking like we do. So I'm about to crack this one off. You ready?
yeah, ready.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, this is a tall boy also, so it's coming in at 16 ounces. So I got a lot of thunder left over
Oh, jeez.
as we start getting into this draft. Avengers Assemble.
Yes, and draft.
Okay, let's start taking a look at the rules here. So Kevin and I
Yes.
briefly discussed some of these podcasts beforehand, but not much because we kind of like to wing it and kind of decide on things as we go. But we did decide on a few ground rules here, and then we may add some more as we discuss these out. So we decided this will be Contest of Champions rules, where teams face off against each other for the fate of the world. For those kids out there that don't know, Contest of Champions was an early 80s three-part comic book series where Death faced off against the Grandmaster, and they chose different superheroes from the Marvel Universe to compete on 3 different teams to recover different pieces of a puzzle for the life of the Collector, who is the Grandmaster's Elder Universe brother. So this was kind of a prelude to what became Secret Wars, kind of testing out this kind of arrangement.
Concept, yeah.
But the way that works is once you choose a guy, he's off the board. You can't choose him for your team also. So
Right. Hey, do you know what was special about the Contest of Champions, the book itself?
was it the first time Death makes an appearance? Not, no, it's not. No, because she makes an appearance elsewhere. Um, uh, First appearance of Shamrock, the only
It
Irish
might be.
superhero. Other
It
than
might be. And Shamrock beats Captain America in that issue too, which is crazy. But no, it is actually Marvel's first limited series.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for informing
You're
us.
welcome. Now that means you lose.
Okay. The second of these rules here is we are playing with the Henry Gyrich rules. Henry Gyrich, back in the 70s, became the first national security liaison to the Avengers, and he was a tough nut to crack, and he did not like the Avengers having too many members, so he set the maximum number at 7 because he decided he wanted to be able to control their security clearances and who was coming in and out, and it reduced the team by a lot. The Avengers eventually agreed to this and liked the fact that it kept the unit nice and tight at 7 members. But on special occasions, those 7 members could be augmented with reserve members when we are having a global crisis, an intergalactic crisis, a universal crisis, or a time crisis. And so we are also adding at least 2 reserve members you can call up to our teams. In addition to that, all good teams have to have some support members. And so we're allowed to have 1 auxiliary person join this team. And we will talk about what that kind of a person is. So it's a person not serving frontline on the team, but supporting the team. Think of Wyatt Wingfoot on the Fantastic Four. Think of Alfred to the Batman. And there's a little man by the name of Jarvis for the Avengers. But there have been other supporting members over the years. And so you have to draft one of those.
That might be tough. I can't think of anyone other than Jarvis.
Oh, yeah. You're a weak little man. You're going to lose it.
I'm going to lose. My supporting member was not strong enough.
And to also further cage us down, we are only allowed 5 A-listers. That way we will only be allowed to choose 5 of the top lists. That's like Thor, Captain America. We are going to kind of go on our honors rules here and just veto the person if we think they got too many A-listers. That way Kevin can't have Iron Man, Thor, Captain America all on one team. Can't have the perfect team.
Yes, I can.
You have to have one guy that has to be a former leader, or as the Avengers call them, the chairman of the Avengers.
The chairman.
Lots of people have been chairmen, so that shouldn't be an issue. I do propose the rule, and Kevin, you can veto this. One of the members also has to be the sidekick comic relief member.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
There's plenty of them, so I think that's an important quality to have in a team member.
So you have to have one member that is also the comic relief, and we will decide. There have been a number of people that have served that role on the Avengers over the years. And we are also going with the Spider-Man rule on this one. So when there was a big assembly in one of the top Avengers ones, I can't remember, was it Infinity Wars or another galactic assembly of all the Avengers, Spider-Man swings in, and they're looking at a picture of the Avengers, and somebody goes, look at all those Avengers, and Spider-Man goes, you can only count Hank Pym once. So this is the little learning moment for you out there. Kevin, this is a little segment I like to call telling the kids what they need to know. So Henry Pym,
Right.
for those people that don't know, from the Marvel CU, you don't get the whole story because he is one of the most important Avengers. Henry Pym is a world famous biochemist who discovered a little thing called PIM particles, which allowed him to transform his size. And he became married to a woman by the name of Janet Van Dyne, who he turned into the Wasp. And he went on to have a multitude career with the Avengers as a founding member, along with the Wasp, founding first as Ant-Man, then turning to Giant Man, then back to Ant-Man, and eventually becoming Giant Man again, then changed his name to Goliath, and then ultimately becoming the Yellow Jacket, and a few other names along the way. I normally would quiz Kevin on this if he could name anyone else that he knows that he became after that. Can you name at least one?
When he was in the West Coast Avengers initially, he just went by Hank Pym. He didn't operate as a superhero during that time.
That's correct. He was a supporting member, but can you name of
Yes.
any other gnome de Gaiaris Hank Pym has gone by?
No, I cannot.
Oh, okay. At one time later in the more recent issues, after Janet Van Dyne died, he took up the mantle of the Wasp. And in a meeting with the all-seeing, all-knowing Eternity, he was referred to by Eternity as the scientist supreme of Earth.
Really, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Because he is such a multifaceted scientist, most people don't underrate him compared to Reed Richards and or Tony Stark, but Tony Stark's an engineer. He's the hybrid of both of us because also, in addition to being a biochemist, he's a world famous robotics expert, invented Ultron,
Right.
who ultimately led to the invention of the Vision, and also designed all his hardware for the Yellow Jacket suit and Ant-Man. He is by far one of the most important Avengers, and he is played by a little celebrity, uh, decent actor named Michael Douglas in the movies.
Yeah, he was, not too many people have probably heard of Michael Douglas. Hasn't done that much.
Yeah.
But one thing that people may not know is that you said is Pym created Ultron in the movies. They gave that to Tony Stark, which makes sense
They
for the
lie.
movie, but they
Did
did
it
lie.
make sense? They took away how important Hank Pym is.
He could turn really small. It's
He,
okay.
he, he could turn really small. He turned so big he met eternity. That's amazing. And those are the big rules here. And ultimately, we'll decide by a stare down on whose team is better. But we are going to let you, the fan we have out there in podcast land, our one fan, right into the Twitter, right into our Gmail, and tell us who you think is the best team. And we're talking to everybody out there in the world that we're listening to, the one fan that we have.
Right. Right. You know who you are.
And so I have gone over the major rules, but as all drafts, they have separate drafting order rules. I'll let Kevin talk about our drafting order rules so that keeps it even, Steven.
Well, and one thing we wanted to talk about too is actually if everyone qualifies as a draftable Avenger.
Oh, you want to set restrictions on which
Right.
era of Avengers we're drafting here.
Right. No, I think all eras. So you have,
Oh, you want to go all eras.
well, for the most part.
Oh,
So
I thought this was going to be a restriction by looking at a 0-0 issue, like everybody out before 100, everyone before 200, everyone before 300, everyone before 400, something like that. But you want to go fancy pants. What restrictions do you want to put on us?
well, there have been plenty of different Avengers teams. I think we probably go too broad if we include people from the Uncanny Avengers, because then we're opening up to like a dozen or so mutants who aren't really on the Avengers per se, except for that series,
I
like
never took you for
Rogue and Sunfire.
a mutant hater, Kevin. I never took you for
Yeah,
that. I thought that guy reads a lot of X-Men. He's not going to be a mutant hater. But there it is. Okay, we will
you
eliminate
got me.
Uncanny Avengers from the selection process. Any other restrictions? You don't want to go pre 500, issue 500, pre issue 400, pre issue 200, 300. Go more classic.
No, we're good. Go all of them.
Okay, you just open it up the door for everybody.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
We don't want to run out of guys.
you describe to the kids out there how our drafting order works.
All right, so we're gonna flip to see who picks first. We have this great issue of who is it, Modoc?
It's a little comic book called Warzone apostrophe Modoc Assassin. It is a trade paperback featuring everybody's favorite cybernetic, uh, large-headed jetpack machine person, Modoc. who is the mental organism designed only for killing. In this version, he's gone by other acronyms for MODOK, but this is the mental organism designed only for killing. We thought it was apropos that we will flip this comic book heads and tails. Kevin will be able to call what he's going to do, but what way will we pick the order once we start going?
Well, and MODOK has a big head, so it's perfect for heads and tails.
There's a giant MODOK head on the cover of this bad boy.
Right. So what we'll do is whoever picks first will pick, and then the next person will pick two straight picks, followed by the first person repeating, and then it will alternate. The person who picked second will then pick first, followed by two picks from the next person and one pick, and we'll do that until we have 10 members each.
That works. So it's a Skippy
So
Snake draft.
skip snake, yeah,
Skippy Sneaky draft. Okay, well, let's get this started.
modified snake.
You are going to call MODOK or Jetpack when I flip this in the air.
All right,
Flip it in the air, so you got to call it.
MODOK.
It came up, MODOK. You get first.
Yes, winner. All right. So, I love getting the first pick. It's great.
Oh.
It's great. So every team needs a leader, right?
Oh, you going leader first.
I'm going leader first. So every team needs a leader. And even though this character wasn't an original Avenger, since he debuted on the Avengers in issue number 4, he's been.
I know where he's going, kids.
He's been the de facto leader. He's been essentially the moral compass of the team. He's synonymous with the Avengers. When you think of Avengers, you think of this individual. But for my first pick, I'm taking Captain America.
Kevin is going Star Spangled Avenger, Captain America, Steve Rogers. He's wearing the shirt. He's shoving it in my face on this camera here. It is a bold pick, Cotton. And you will take him as your leader also, I believe, since he is the synonymous leader of the Avengers. And he has served as chairman multiple times, as well as reserve backup chairman and usual just general counsel for any time anyone else F's up something on the team. They're always like, Captain, what do I do? Captain, what do I do? And he goes, you throw your shield at him.
Right. You throw your shield at him. But I don't have a shield. We could do it anyway.
You do it anyway. All right, that's a good pick. That is an A-lister off the board also. We can agree to that, I believe.
Yes.
So, if you are going Captain America, I'm going to go great big guns here. And, of course, I got to go founding member. So, I got to go with the guy with the most power. Overall, maybe sometimes a one-man Avengers himself. The Immortal One. The blonde-haired long one. Mjolnir throwing. Portal opening. Ragnarok stopping. The mighty Thor.
Yep. Donald Blake.
Donald Blake. I also get a doctor out of this deal when he wants to.
Right.
In his alter ego. And at this time, I will not be taking him as I may designate him at another time as my chairman, but I am not at this time.
That is, I got to say, that is a top-notch pick by you.
I have to bring the thunder if I'm going with it. Now, this is the more interesting overall pick here. So I'm coming in at number 2 since this is a Skippy Snake draft. I get my second pick right now here with you kids. And I am looking to draft good. Do I want more power? Do I want more speed? What do I want? So I've already got some mystical covered. I got some strength covered. I got a lot of things covered. But I need some tech on my team right now. And you may be thinking, he's going to go with the big name, with the big Marvel CU. But no, that guy's an alcoholic. We don't need that hanging around the team. We're going with the guy that can't get alcoholed. We're going with the guy that had to make up his own name. The 9th recruit overall to the Avengers. He's gone by many colors. Usually he's red, sometimes he's white. But he is intangible and floating. And he gets married to somebody very special later on in life. I'm going with the Synthezoid, not the android, the Synthezoid, the Vision.
Yeah, Vision's a good pick. He's very versatile.
And at this time, I just want to say, my little beer called Rocket Surgery Double Dry Hop Double Bailout. It's so smooth, so light. It melts on your tongue and floats through walls intangibly like the vision. It just descends. It makes its mass almost zero. I think I could throw it through the wall because it's so light and hoppy.
How strong is that beer again?
It's kicking in at 8.5% as the can rumbles around. I got two of these bad boys waiting up.
So
Okay, that's it.
Vision
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Vision's also been a chairman. Is he your leader?
No, no, no. I'm holding out. I'm holding out very. I may have to retro designate, but I'm holding out for something very, very special. Very, very special.
All right. So we're back to me now. See, so
You're on the board.
you've taken a powerhouse, you've taken Synthezoid, who at one time took control of all the computers in the world, including the nuclear arsenal.
That's right. He has so much power packed in the brain, and he goes by the name of Victor Slade when he wants just to hang out by himself and pick up chicks that are not Scarlet Witch.
Right. I read that issue where he had holograms of himself all over Avengers Mansion, and there was one where he turned into a really smooth blonde haired dude.
Yep, yep. That would
Or was
be.
he a redhead dude?
He's got darker hair as Victor Slade. Kind of looks a little like Doctor Strange. He wears pinstripe ties. Picks up chicks in Chicago. All right, you're on the board.
All right. So
For
for my next pick, I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with the obvious again. So for a team like the Avengers, one thing you need is you need tech because you need Quinjets. You need mansions with defenses. You also need cash for all these things. Like these things just don't grow on trees. You can't bring gold from
me making
Asgard
the
down with
cash
you.
kids, making it rain.
Right, right. And the demon is no longer in the bottle for this guy. He's straight as an arrow now.
Nope, nope,
And
nope. Once an AA, always an AA, man.
oh, so with my second pick, I'm going with Iron Man Tony Stark.
Iron Man, he's not taking the Jimmy Rhoda Iron Man. He's taking Iron Man Tony Stark. We did not put a restriction on which armor he would be wearing, so I will let Kevin decide which armor he thinks he should be wearing. The classic Mark IV, or maybe that retroactive Mark II, or sometimes maybe the stealth armor or Hulk Blister armor.
Ooh, I think I'm just going to go with the classic, the Mark
IV,
II,
Mark IV,
Mark IV.
Mark IV.
Yeah, and originally in the Avengers, he's a founding member.
Founding member.
He was more of a side character though. He wasn't really ever the lead character in the Avengers, but since the movies have come out, like his character has had a huge boost,
Yeah, they
and
didn't
now
really.
he's
They ramped that up later, and not till the '80s, really, the late '70s, '80s. They started, but the early
right.
ones, no.
And in the early, I was reading some West Coast Avengers recently, and Tony Stark Iron Man is in them. He wasn't in the original West Coast Avengers. Rhodey was in the original West Coast Avengers, but when they started the regular series, it was Tony Stark, and he was still kind of a side character. He wasn't the focus of the group. He was just there, honestly.
And you mentioned that he is the financial backer of the Avengers. Can you tell me, though, he's not any longer the financial backer? He donated a lot of money to a certain foundation, and they're the backer of the Avengers. Can you name that foundation?
Oh no, I can't. I can't name that foundation. Who is it?
That would be the Maria Stark Foundation, named in honor of Tony's mom, a charitable trust meant to
Oh,
give money
interesting.
to the Avengers and also cover all the expenses, not only of Quinjets, the mansion, but also all the destruction they cover. And they actually have to do audits. So there are a number of issues where the Maria Stark Foundation will come in and audit and make sure the Avengers really had to destroy that building, really had to take that parking ticket for the Quinjet, and all those wonderful things.
Oh, that's cool. See, so he's someone who should definitely be on my team because you have no one to pay for all the damage that you cause.
Don't need to. We are moving unit of speed and style, which brings me to my pick. Since we're coming into the second round, it's the second round. We both had 4 picks overall, and so I get to go first this round. And so you were wondering who I might want. Not going my leader just yet, but if I got division, I need the other half of the coin. I need the woman of the hex, bringing more fantastic magic and mutant power. The one, the only, the Scarlet Witch.
That she's not a mutant anymore, you know.
That's not true. Didn't
You're
happen.
not a mutant.
Didn't happen. Still the daughter of Magneto, brother of Quicksilver, wife of the Vision, also generated kids with the Vision out of magic and of a mind, studied under Agatha Harkness, latently one of the most important Avengers, one of the most people in the Marvel Universe because she wiped it out at one time. That's how powerful she is. The
Yeah,
Scarlet
she's
Witch.
definitely one of the most powerful.
So I got the Thor, I got the Vision, I got the Scarlet Witch. So I'm gonna go on mid, mid Avengers, late '60s, early '70s kind of vibe here.
Yeah. You got three A-listers there.
I do, and you have two, and you're going back to back picks now.
All right. So, I think leadership is very important, right? If any of their characters go down, it's important to have someone in the field that can just pick up and take control and guide you through that spot. So for my third pick, I'm going to go with uh, former chairman, the Wasp.
Oh no, 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 that was
Yes.
my pick. You can't be taking my
Ah,
pick.
I
She's
took
under
the
the radar
Wasp.
good.
She
She
is
is
under the radar good.
possibly the best chairman ever. The Avengers, they all talk about Captain America, but multiple issues. The Wasp has been voted as the best chairman and seen him through the most troubling times in the Avengers, enough so that Captain America would defer to her decisions and not interfere with them and only act as conciliary, co-counsel, and backup. I can't believe he took another chairman off the board. I may really have to retroactively designate my chairman now, but not just yet. Not
You
just yet.
may have to after my next pick.
No, no.
So and what I like about the Wasp too, other than the leadership, she's a successful fashion designer on her own. So she has plenty of cash too. Should
Eris.
the cash
That
from
was
the
what I
Stark
was going for. I
Foundation.
was waiting. I was going to get that Eris money, get my chairman. She did. She has funded the Avengers at a time with all her fashion design money and Eris money.
All right, with my back to back pick for number four. Now this is a guy who doesn't have any superpowers, right? He gets there from grit, right? He wanted to be a chairman and a leader, looked up to Captain America. Then later on, he became more of a reluctant type hero. Uh, so with my fourth pick, I'm taking Clint Barton, Hawkeye.
What? The former sideshow Carney,
Right, straight out of
student,
Iowa. Is it Iowa or Idaho?
student of the swordsman. I do believe you also designate him some other category that we decided on today.
Humor,
He is your
for
comic
sure.
relief.
Yep.
Oh, he is the quintessential comic relief of the Avengers, multiple times making the yuck yucks. True or false? Hawkeye's brother, also known as Barton, was a criminal and died on an Avengers mission with Hawkeye.
I guess true. I didn't know that.
Yes. On a outer space mission to take out Egghead, who his brother had, aligned with unknowingly, he assisted Hawkeye and the other Avengers to locate an outer space station where Egghead was and was promptly killed in the process.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. And nobody knew that he was Hawkeye's brother until the end of the issue. He goes,
Oh,
"That's my brother."
oh man.
Oh,
Poor,
oh,
poor Hawkeye. So I'm reading right now. Matt Fraction wrote Hawkeye: My Life as a Weapon. Have you read that one?
I have not. Isn't it good?
Oh, it's hilarious. It's so funny. He's living in an apartment building in Brooklyn, and he's just fumbling through all these criminals and fumbling through life. He steals from like the entire underground of New York City and buys the building he lives in from the Russian mob. And I'll leave it at that. It's really good.
Impressive. Impressive. God. Well,
I'm good at preparing for drafts.
since you
I like
took
getting ready for
since you
drafts.
took my choice for chairman and my backup choice for money, I need to get some money. I need to get a little extra science skill. and there's only one founding member still on the board. So I will be taking one Mr. Henry Pym, and I will be taking him in yellow jacket format. That way he can harass the Wasp with all his swashbuckling shenanigans, which he did when he had his mental breakdown. He invented the yellow jacket and eventually proposed to Janet Van Dyne while as the yellow jacket. And I get a little money out of this. I get a little money out of this because I get number B. I get that alimony from the Wasp. I get all that alimony money that's helping me pay, and
That's right.
I get all the proceeds from Pym particles. All them Pym particle proceeds of making things small, making things big. That's all in my bank account. Industrialist money.
That's a good pick. Yeah, because he has patents up, just to the end of the world, probably.
The scientist supreme. I got my power. I got my magic. I got my robot, my synthesoid. All right, we're into the third round here. Just to go over our list so far, Kevin has drafted Captain America, Iron Man, Wasp, and Hawkeye. In the inferior category team, that's Kevin. In the superior category teams, it's Jeremiah with Thor, the Vision, the Scarlet Witch, and Yellow Jacket. And we are back around to Kevin's pick.
Oh boy.
And I'm halfway through my beer.
Yeah, me too.
So we got to draft 10 people here, so we're through 4 picks, just to let you guys know.
So my team has a lot of leadership, has some cash, has some humor. I don't have a lot of power though.
You got no power.
I have no real power. I mean, I have some power, but I don't have a lot of power. I don't have Thor type power or Vision type power on my team, so I need to find someone with some muscle. And I'm going to go with. This is a tough pick. I think I am going to take Hercules.
What? The Prince of Power.
Prince of Power, son of Zeus. It'd give me the muscle that I need. He's definitely not an A-lister.
He's not an A-lister. Back up. Definitely not an A-lister. We will check that box off. Hawkeye, A-lister, not A-lister.
I don't think Hawkeye is an A-lister.
I'm going to go A-lister because he's been in the movies.
All right.
He's a movie star. That's Hollywood Hawkeye. But I'm going to say Hank Pym, Yellow Jacket, not an A-lister.
Well, I agree with that. I think so. We each have 3 A-listers. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Now, is A-lister character or just A-lister as an Avenger?
I would say A-lister character Avenger. It's open for interpretation. I think we'll do a little bit of popularity. And Hawkeye, A-lister, Hercules, definitely not an A-lister. I will say Wasp is not an A-lister. No, she's
I don't think she's
an A-lister.
I don't think she's an
the
A-lister.
most important Avenger. She's a founding member. We're going to go all founding members, A-listers. Not the Yellow Jacket because he wasn't a founding member as the Yellow Jacket.
Oh, jeez.
Playing those rules. Playing those
all
rules.
Right.
That's how nitpicky that's where my Avengers knowledge comes in, and I win.
Yep.
Now, okay, so you got the Prince
and
of Power
wasn't Yellow Jacket kicked off the team? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he kicked off the
multiple
team?
times and was and fined and came back? He comes back. He goes off. Comes back. He don't drinky as much as Iron Man. He does drink a little bit, but not as much as Iron Man. He has split personality issues. Well,
he has issues. That's for sure.
He's got issues, but when it comes through, he can design anything, do anything. So I got back-to-back picks here. Okay.
You got back-to-back picks.
Pressure's
on.
I gotta take a beer. Okay. So he's got the Prince of Power. He's got power to match my Thor with the son of Zeus. Let's see here. Who do I want? Well, I think it might be that time that Jeremiah ups up his power game. We've got a lot of power, but I think I want to go universal power. I want to go protector of the universe level power, non A-lister, the greatest, the most important, former security head of security for Project Pegasus, a little man by the name of Windelbond, Quasar.
I like Quasar.
Super powerful, protector of the universe. At one time banned from landing on Earth again, but definitely up there. Ups my game with him and Thor. So I got Thor who can absorb energy and Quasar who can absorb and use all energy forms. So pretty much we can bring the pain down on anybody with those two.
So Quasar's not an A-lister, you don't think?
Quasar's not an A-lister. In my heart, he's an A-lister. Forever and ever and ever, I own almost a complete run of Quasar comics, which I might be the only person that ever bought a Quasar comic. But
I got two of them.
I think they sold for a grand total of 5 comics total out of like a 50 comic run, and they killed him off and no one really cared, and they brought him back and no one really cared.
Yeah. So his description in Contest of Champions is Wendell Vaughn, security chief, American wielding a pair of power bands from Uranus.
Yep, he got them from Marvel Boy, from his dad who was studying him at Project Pegasus. Lo and behold, once you put him on, the near omnipotent being Eon called him to him and made him the designated protector of the universe after the old Captain Marvel had died, and he had created the quantum bands to be the protector, whoever wore them, to be the protector of the universe. He had joined the Avengers as a non-member ally in Avengers number 18. He was the 27th recruit overall and joined as a full member in 302. Was also a member of the Star Masters.
Star Masters.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. So I'm going to use this now to retroactively choose my leader here, and I'm going to go with. No, I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna wait on that. There's still a good one out there, but I gotta get my comic relief in here. So I'm going. Oh my stars and garters! Somebody that can bring in some extra teammates from another team if he wants to. Also a scientist, a biochemist to team up with Yellow Jacket. I'm going with the bouncing blue boy known as the Beast.
That's a good pick. He was in the Avengers in the 70s. In case people didn't know, he was a member for a long time.
He was part of one of the third eras of new members. He joined Avengers officially as a member in Avengers number 53. Um, he was the 14th recruit overall to the Avengers and fluctuated between the Avengers and X-Men at times, always coming in as a reserve member pretty often. One of everybody's favorite reserve members. Usually brought
That's
in
a good pick.
to help out. Well, I had to give him a comic relief in there. It's very important, very important. So far, and he's also he helps my science game.
Yeah, he's very smart too. He's a smarty pants. So whose pick is it? Now is
It
it my
is
pick?
now. So I did my back-to-back pick. So you have your last pick.
And then you pick again.
Yeah, no, I did my back-to-back picks. So you have your last pick, and then I picked the next round. Yeah, first.
Right. Okay. So I have my leaders, I have my money, I have my comic relief, I got my power. I need to get some young blood on the team because I don't have any young blood. So new
Got to get some
blood.
young blood.
Right. So some new blood comes with uh, the new Avengers. So in the early 2000s, after the Avengers were disassembled by the Scarlet Witch, who's on your team, probably the same thing will happen to your team. She'll just destroy them all, right?
No, Yellow Jacket's there to keep her in line.
Not going to happen. So, uh,
Got her husband. I got I got Beast to keep her happy and smiling. I got the handsome Quasar protecting the universe.
I don't know. It's still dangerous. That's still very dangerous. So, a new team of Avengers was formed. after Disassembled, and one of those members was the Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So I am going to
Oh, it's
draft
going
Peter
there. It's
Parker,
going there. Oh, snap.
which I will concede is my last A-list character as well.
Also, comic relief.
Comic
We already
relief,
have it covered.
also very intelligent.
So you're out of your A-listers. We got a pseudoscientist, Spider-Man, one of my favorite characters of all time, and just an amazing. Joined the Avengers as their 13th recruit in Avengers 329. No, as an official member, he didn't join yet. He didn't join until 329 as an official member. But he was on and off again. He at one time tried to join the Avengers to make a little cash early on in the money.
Right, and they wouldn't let him.
They decided that he could come around, but he's causing a little too much trouble. But they keep him around as a friend and an associate member because he wanted that cash. Do you know how much the Avengers got paid from the Maria Stark Foundation in their original early 60s and 70s run for being Avengers?
In the early run, no. I do have that issue though where he almost gets recruited into the Avengers, but I can't remember how much cash they get for that.
To be an Avenger, they used to get $1,000 a week.
Nice.
She-Hulk,
Wow, they pay you?
when She-Hulk joined, she was like, I want that cash money, yo. And she was able to buy an apartment like cash money in New York City in the 1970s, $1,000 a week. Throwing it around. Yeah. So it was a
So
grand a week.
that's how much Vision offered Tigra to join the West Coast Avengers also in 1984. So
But
they
it
didn't
was,
adjust that for inflation.
I didn't really adjust it for a really long time. I don't know how much it is now, but it was it was only a grand a week, which doesn't go that far now in the modern world, but back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s was a lot. So it is my pick time here, I believe. Let me look at this here. Okay. Just to go over, we are through 3 rounds. We're in the 4th round now, I believe. We
Something
have
like that.
we have gotten 6 picks each. K-Mac coming in with Captain America, Iron Man, Wasp, Hawkeye, Hercules, Spider-Man. His A-listers are Captain America, Iron Man, Wasp, Hawkeye, and Spider-Man. Hawkeye's his comic relief. Captain America's his leader. Yek has got Thor, Vision, the Scarlet Witch, Yellow Jacket, Quasar, and Beast. Beast being the comic relief. A-listers being Thor, the Vision, and Scarlet Witch. Yek is going to go ahead and designate his leader as being Thor, chairman, who has served as chairman multiple times. Most powerful. Stop Ragnarok. May change that if I pick somebody else up a little later on the back end here, if she's available in the late rounds. Another chairman that served really well, but Kevin doesn't know that. He doesn't know those Avengers. Kevin doesn't know. But okay,
I can't hear you either.
I got my pick here in the 4th round. Okay. I can get some more A-listers here if I want. Oof. Do I have enough power? I think, yeah, this is my last round. Also gonna double up my cash money here. Going with the A-lister. So yeah, Pim Particle's going to fund us so much, but I need to get a little more cash money. Only place I know where they make money is in the minerals market, and I need somebody with a whole country that can help fund this, who is at times provided things to Avengers. Namely, he provided the souped-up Quinjets that were made after Tony Stark. He tweaked them and made them even better. He has got the heightened powers of all a human being and those of a jungle cat. I am going with T'Challa, the Black Panther, ruler of Wakanda. Also an A-lister. Also bringing my cash money.
That's a good pick.
Kicking it out. So I got that. Got my guy to counter out. Lead as a hero, as a money man, as a scientist, everything. What do you think about that one?
I like that pick.
You better.
You
didn't get him.
Yeah, he has cash. He has power. He can fight. So
we swing back around now to a double picks by K-Mac. And we're moving into the area where we have to start looking maybe right before this round. this round we'll get out of our mainline members and be moving to our reserve members. It looks like in our eighth and ninth picks, but right now we are on our seventh picks, which are still mainline Guy Rich Rules team members.
So do I get 2 in a row now?
You get 2 in a row.
I get 2 in a row now.
So you
Okay.
get your last mainline member and then your first reserve member.
Or however I designate them, right?
Well, let's just do it. Let's do it where you get mainline. Your first 7, because up to now we've gotten all mainline Avengers pretty much.
Yeah,
Some
that's
could be
true.
in reserve at times early on. You could call them reserves if you want. Spider-Man technically was reserve up to you, but you designated not the Spider-Man that came in a little galactic event in the early '90s. You against Nebula, you chose the one that was actually the new Avengers.
Remember the Spider-Man rule, only one Spider-Man.
Yeah, one Spider-Man.
All right, so I'm going to go with, I think I need another heavy hitter. I have Hercules. He's good. Spider-Man is kind of a heavy hitter too, but I need a real heavy hitter. And I'm out of A-listers. So with the 7th spot on my team, I'm going to draft She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Yes. She's been a member of the Avengers several times. She's been a member of the Fantastic Four. She's a mainstay Marvel character. And generally, she can control her Hulk as well, which is better than
The
Bruce
sexy,
Banner's Hulk.
sexy She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, was the 19th recruit to the Avengers, joined as a member in number 221 for the kids out there following and keeping score. What is Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk's professional career, Kevin, that also aids the Avengers on frequent occasions?
She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer for all the superheroes.
She's one of the few lawyer superheroes and also one of the ones that practices superhero law.
Right. So different than Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock doesn't practice superhero.
What's her other profession other than lawyer? Superhero.
She has another one.
The Jade Giantess. Yes, that I was hoping that'd help you.
I have no idea. What is it?
She is a model.
Oh, that makes sense.
Unlike her cousin, Bruce Banner, she does not want to transfer back to Jennifer Walters, who's a humdrum so-so girl, whereas the fabulous Jade Giantess, She-Hulk, is the eye of everyone's apple. But little thing that Kevin doesn't know is by putting Hercules and She-Hulk on the same team where they're flirtatious the whole time, it'll distract from the team's efforts because he's always trying to get with She-Hulk.
Oh, it'll do no such thing.
She's so sexy, and She-Hulk likes it too. He didn't know that, but I did.
So Bruce Banner not modeling very much?
Bruce Banner not a big model.
No.
Not a big
All
model.
right.
Big time mine though, which brings it to.
Do I go twice? Do I go back to back here?
You get She-Hulk, now you get your reserve member.
Oh boy. Hooray.
You could call She-Hulk a reserve member. She's always been a mainline member pretty frequently.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to dip back in to my new Avengers. And with my next pick, I'm going to take Luke Cage, Power Man.
Ooh, interesting pick. More power, more indestructibility. Borderline A-lister. They've amped him up after the 2000s,
Right.
but not an A-lister yet. Yeah, I will not say he's an A-lister, even though he has a really good TV show. But if you had said I get Luke Cage and and Iron Fist, that's an A-list team.
Well, that might just happen.
You only get one though.
No. No, I love Iron Fist, despite his problems. No, but the Luke Cage show was great.
Now, why did you choose Luke Cage and or also known as Power Man, even though he doesn't like to be called Power Man?
Well, he's also served.
Too.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I might have to do that too. But Luke Cage has also served as a leader of the Avengers. So even though he's going to be on my reserve, it's good to have someone there who has some leadership experience. And I always liked Luke Cage. I thought he was a very fun character. So my new beer.
Oh, he's switching up late rounds here, everybody.
I'm switching it up. So my new beer is also from Mason Ale Works.
Mason Ale Works, the same brewery out of San Diego, California.
Correct. And this one's called Respeto. It's a Mexican style lager, 4.5% ABV, because we're picking these characters out of respect. Gonna pour one out for them.
Respect my Avenger.
Respect your Avenger.
Respect my Avenger. Okay, we circulated back around to me now. Oof, oof. I'm on my reserve. My reserve. Well, I haven't amped up all my power yet, but I'm gonna do that in my late round, I think. But I'm gonna do something I think that kids are clamoring for, like they did back in the 1960s. They wanted this funky cat who brought science, who brought mysticism, who can help counter any of the crazy, wacky things that are going out there in the world. Sometimes getting sent back to the 14th century to fight in King Arthur's court. I'm going with one Dane Whitman, Black Knight. Frequent early reserve Avengers. 10th recruit to Avengers, so you know he's very early on. Started as a non-member ally, eventually became a full-time member in Avengers number 71, yeah. Frequently involved in Avengers hijinks, wielder the Ebony Blade. So I amp up my mystical game. That thing cuts through anything. Frequent ally, a little man by the name of Doctor Strange. Very important, very important member.
Right. A-lister.
Also very much not only as a member, but just like a plot element. People like to tell stories about the Avengers going to get Black Knight for things.
Yeah,
Frequently,
he's had a lot of interesting stories about him for sure.
a lot of times they just throw him in. It's like we got to go get the Black Knight for something, and Black Knight's like, what? Why does people always looking out for me? Frequently the Defenders, frequently the Avengers, all throughout Marvel history. Not so much just for him swinging that sword of his.
Isn't he also a nuclear physicist or
He's
something like
also a
that?
top-notch scientist. Adds to my science game. So through the fourth round, we have these teams so far. K-Mac has Captain America, Iron Man, Wasp, Hawkeye, Hercules, Spider-Man, She-Hulk, and Luke Cage. His leader is Captain America. His comic relief is Hawkeye. Yak is throwing down Thor, the Vision, the Scarlet Witch, Yellow Jacket, Quasar, Beast, Black Panther, Black Knight. Double blacks on the end there. Did you see that? That's what I'm bringing. Always bet on
Yeah.
black. So I have Thor as my leader and Beast as my comic relief. And now we into the ninth round where Kevin gets either his last reserve pick and or his supporting character pick.
Hmm. So let's see. Last reserve or supporting character? Hmm.
Kevin only knows one supporting character, so I think I know who he's going with.
Well, I may just pass on that.
Because I took his Hank Pym. With the Hank Pym rule, the Spider-Man rule, he can't take Hank Pym as a supporting character.
Damn you. It's hard to pick someone who's not an A-list character because there are so many Avengers who are just A-list characters. So I don't think I can pick this person, but I'm just going to throw her out there.
Oh, I'll
And I
veto if
think
I
you,
want to.
well, yeah, I mean, you can, I know
Oh, I'll
you're
veto.
probably going to veto.
Oh,
And
I'll
I think she's an
veto.
veto. So, all right, you would say Black Widow was an A-list character, right?
Hmm.
She's in the movies. She's going to get her own
I'm
movie.
gonna say no because in the comic book she is not a black. She never appears as an A-list character in the comic books. She's an add-on to the Marvel CU. So she's an A-lister because Scarlett Johansson plays in the movies, but in the Marvel universe, she just kind of shows up in the Avengers, appears in things. Was a champion of the Hollywood, what LA champions. She was one of the
LA
leaders,
champions.
yeah,
Yeah.
leaders of those, but not really in the comic books. Not really until late has she had gotten her own comic books. She started in a lot. She's an add-on character, like kind of like Black Knight, where she just shows up in other people's comic. Daredevil.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
She gets introduced in the Avengers because she's hanging out with the Hawkeye as his love interest when he was a criminal and she was a spy. Had a funky different costume at that time. Kids
Right.
should pick that costume out. It's funky.
Didn't she have black hair too?
Black hair. She had a big high collar webbing. Served as an agent of Shield. Yeah, big bouffant,
Beehive hairdo.
big
Yeah.
guy, bouffant, and everything.
Yeah, and she mostly appears as an agent of Shield. At least before the movies came out, she would show up in espionage stories. So I'm going to take her as my auxiliary member in
She's
case there's
definitely an auxiliary member. Oh no! You can't take her as a support member. No, she's a reserve member. Reserve. You're on reserve, right? Not support.
yeah, no, that's what I meant. I meant she's my reserve person. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's my last reserve person.
Person you go on She-Hulk reserve. She is more reserved. I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to go She-Hulk reserve, Luke Cage reserve as
Luke Cage is
well.
front line. You can go Black Widow reserve. Who do you want? Who do you
How
want?
many reserves do we get?
Two. You only have to have two.
Oh, then I would put Luke Cage as a reserve and keep. I guess I would keep She-Hulk on the team despite the distractions you think it might cause.
It's gonna get sexy, and Hercules gonna be like, it's
I don't
sexy
know.
time.
So Hercules is going to have a hard time focusing with Wasp and She-Hulk on the team.
Oh, he likes both those ladies, but he freaks
He does.
anytime She-Hulk and Hercules get in the room together. They are always on each other's songs. So it swings it back around to me now. So I didn't make it clear last round, but my reserve member is the Black Knight, Dane Whitman. Often before he became a mainline member, was really a reserve member of the Avengers, reserve member of lots of teams showing up. But that means I get back-to-back picks. So I have to do another reserve member and then my support member. That's so tough.
There's so many people left too. I mean, what do you want to go with? You
Oh,
need
well,
you need some stealth on this team.
why I have stuff. I have a little man by the name of Black Panther. I have a little man by the
True.
Beast. I need a little more power. You know, you bring in Iron Man and Hercules and She-Hulk. I got Thor, Vision, bringing my power. So I need to really up my power game. For the ultimate reserve member, the only reserve member that only shows up when things are really bad, when things are really going low. I have one A-lister left also. So this is a reserve
Oh, you
member
do.
that is an A-lister. I'm going the big guns, the most powerful, the strongest man in all the Marvel universe. I'm going
The
full
green one?
on Hulk. I
That's a good pick.
almost took Rage, but I was going full on Hulk because I need some strength. And I did save my last A-lister for a reason. That's the reason I played my Yellow Jacket rules, because the Hulk is strong enough to take on all the strength on any other team in a champions contest, a champion situation. Now I have to keep him in line. That's why the Beast is there. That's why Black Panther's there to soothe his soul. But then I have to finally choose my supporting team member. Oh man, why couldn't I just choose Moon Knight? But no, no Moon Knight. Okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to get Iron Fist on my team too.
Do I want Jarvis's cucumber sandwiches? That is the question. That's the big hard question. Cucumber sandwiches. But he did betray the team. He was blackmailed by the Ultron to betraying the team and ratting them out at one
That
time
sounds familiar. I think I heard that. I read that.
before Ultron came in. But he confessed up. He was a good guy and confessed up. But I will be going the other big supporting member that isn't Hank Pym, that isn't Jarvis, just so I think Kevin can have Jarvis and have all his cucumber sandwiches, because I get a little more power from this one. This person, if they need to step up, can serve on the front lines, can help out the Vision, can make the Scarlet Witch a little more in line. I'm going Yocasta.
I was thinking about her too.
Yocasta has joined as an Avengers Outline support member in Avengers 170 to 171, appeared multiple times throughout the Avengers history, was made as the Bride of Ultron, but rejected him and went to live with the Avengers and hang out. Frequently living around the mansion, helping out with Jarvis, helping out with all types of things, and able to shoot powerful, powerful beams through her eyes.
That's a good pick. It's good to have an auxiliary member that can maybe defend the
Bring
mansion.
the noise, brings the ruckus. You can't do that. You might be able to cucumber sample, but he is the quintessential supporting member, so I expect that's who it's going to be taken.
If people are only familiar with the Avengers through the movies, they don't really know that Jarvis is a butler. They think that he's the AI in Stark's armor, but Jarvis has always been just a regular butler, kind of an Alfred type.
Former housekeeper to the Stark, English proper gentleman, Alfred Jarvis. What is Jarvis's last name? Let's look that up. Does anybody out there in podcast land know that? Edwin Jarvis. Jarvis is his last name. That is right. The always studious, always there with the Avengers to support them. Did betray the Avengers when he took up the Crimson Cowl moniker.
Boo.
Crimson Cowl moniker to by being blackmailed by the Ultron at that time, and so unfortunately, there was one time he ratted him out and made them bad cucumber sandwiches.
Man, you just can't trust him. That's why I'm not going to pick him.
You're not picking him. Okay.
I'm not going to pick him. So as my auxiliary member, and
Nobody's taking Jarvis. I feel bad now.
yeah, well, you should have taken him. You know more about the Avengers than I do. So I think this guy should qualify as an auxiliary person. I'm going to pick Walter Newell, also known as Stingray,
This is a gray area. This is such a
because
gray
he's
area.
he's not really a superhero. He's a marine biologist,
Is
right?
he a reserve, though? He has served as a reserve, but he's also served as a supporting scientist. But he's always wearing a Stingray outfit.
Right. He gave them Hydrobase.
Yeah, I'm on the fence, but I'm going to go. Every time he appears, he always does say, superhero and ain't my gig. I guess maybe I'll help him out. But he did join because he rented out the Hydrobase so they could fly the Quinjets out of there when the FAA grounded the Quinjets. This was the one I was borderline. So it is Walter Newell. He is probably supporting. Joined as a non-member ally in number 319. He only ever rose to the reservist status. He never really rose to a mainline status. So I will say, yeah, since he was always a reservist and never, we will consider Stingray and poor Jarvis, who is the ultimate supporting member, but we will always be in our hearts as the ultimate supporting member. So out of
Right.
respect, we didn't draft him. Out of respect, because another one team of us, because he's with all Avengers teams, he'd be
That's
brokenhearted.
true. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to choose between
He would be there with
these
crumpets
teams.
and tea for everybody.
So besides these people that we chose as support members and besides Jarvis, who else is there? You said you knew some other people.
Well, let's go over our teams first here.
Okay. So
Let's
you
see.
go over your team and I'll go over my team.
You want me to lead, and I'll just go over. Okay. So Yak, I drafted by far the better team, an amazing team. I have Thor, the Vision, the Scarlet Witch, Yellow Jacket, Quasar, Beast, Black Panther, Black Knight, the Hulk, and Yocasta. My leader is Thor. My comic relief is Beast. My reserves are Black Knight and the Hulk. My support is Yocasta. A-listers Thor, the Vision, the Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, and the Hulk. So I'm bringing the Thunder. I'm bringing the Diamond Hard, super density and tangibility like my beer, the Vision. Bringing his wife along, probably the most powerful of all Avengers, the Scarlet Witch, when she cranks it up. I'm bringing that attitude with the funky yellow jacket. I'm bringing the protector of the universe and Quasar. Comedy and speed and stealth with Beast, backed up with it by Black Panther and his money bags. Science and mysticism with the Black Knight, and the thunder and the power and everything that comes along with the Hulk and Joe Costa. Handicap my team. Tell me where I'm weak. Tell me where I'm weak.
I think you might be weak in, I was going to say leadership, but Thor, Vision, and Black Panther are all pretty good leaders if you were in a pinch.
I'll worn the mantle of chairman at one time, yes.
Right. I would say Scarlet Witch, in the comic books at least, her mental state might give you some trouble,
Oh, I got
at
mental issues
least
in
in
my
the
team
past.
at the Wazoo. I need to get Doc Samson all on my team. I got rage, I got arrogance and chauvinism. I got Scarlet Witch with all her cases. I got a synthezoid trying to be a man, trying to be a robot, trying to be everything.
Right. And you got the Hulk as a reserve member. He's kind of a loose cannon.
Rage.
Right. But overall, I like the team. You have the Vision and the Scarlet Witch. I don't think they're in any kind of relationship currently, but you have that past relationship turmoil that could provide some good storytelling in there. But it might get in the way of completing missions. And that's where you just don't stand a chance. And Quasar, does he still have the ponytail or what does he have now?
I don't know if he's mullet town or ponytail. I drafted mullet town Quasar.
All right. That was a good choice. That was a good choice.
So K-Mac, tell me about your team.
All right. So my team, we start off with the leader of all leaders for the Avengers, Captain America. All right. We add the cash and the brains and the technology of Tony Stark, Iron Man. We add the stealth and also the leadership and the cash of the Wasp. We add the marksmanship, comic relief of Hawkeye. We have the strength of Hercules, and if Hercules ever loses his costume, Apollo will just bring him a new one,
That's what he
ride
does.
his chariot right through the streets of New York and bring it to him. For additional comic relief and power, and for the kids, we got Spider Man.
You got the double yuck. You got the triple yucks because Hercules could also have been a comic relief guy. He's pretty
Yeah,
good comic relief.
he, he is pretty funny.
You're triple
Uh,
yucks.
we got She-Hulk for the power and Luke Cage for the power and reserve. If we ever need to go stealth mission, if there's ever any espionage required, we have Black Widow, Stingray for our support, just to hang out there at our base and make sure the oceans are okay. I guess I don't know what else that guy does.
Also a scientist. Also a scientist.
Yes, overall, I think I have a pretty balanced team. Do you see any weaknesses there?
So you got the strength of leadership. Solid on power, I would say.
Great on comedy.
Your weakest on the science end. You've only got Iron Man and Stingray, and Spider Man when he wants to be. So that's the only place I think I really got. I got you. I think we're equal on power overall. You got better leadership. You got no mysticism, my friend.
I don't have any mysticism. Who do you have for mysticism?
You got no mysticism at all.
You don't really have any mysticism either.
Excuse me. I do. I have Scarlet Witch, trained by Iron
Mutant?
Harkness, able to bring in her chaos magic, and the Black Knight, one of the Marvel mystics, cut through all mystical things with his things. That's one of his key elements. That's the reason Doc Strange is always having him hang around, is they need that ebony blade that'll cut through anything, including magic.
We'll just have Hercules punch that crap.
He's been shown oftentimes he's no good against magic. That's your biggest weakness. You got no mysticism. I'm low on leadership. I get a plus in science.
You know what you do when you're faced with mysticism? You throw your shield at it. That's what you do.
Always throwing your shield at things. Keep that in
Yeah.
your pocket. But I would say that's your biggest weak, and then science is your second. You're teetering. I mean, Iron Man, yeah, he brings up the game.
Oh,
Stingray helps out, but yeah.
in the modern Marvel universe, Tony Stark is the probably number 2 scientist
No,
behind Reed Richards.
Hank Pym.
Fact.
Hank Pym.
Fact.
Scientist supreme.
I don't even know,
Both,
is
both,
Hank Pym
both
even a
engineer.
character in Marvel Comics anymore?
Of course, he's the scientist supreme.
When was that? Mid
Recently,
90s?
2010s. That was in the 2010s when he made himself as big as he could be, and he got to shake hands with Eternity.
I think recently he merged with Ultron and went bad again.
Well, you what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get when you get a little Hank Pym, a little wackadoodle mind yangs. It's gonna play tricks the Wasp.
What we should do at some point is do a villains draft. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, I think we might have to do that and make our own Masters of Evil,
Right.
or the Ultimate lineup. But with this one going on here through what we did, I think we got ourselves balanced. Like I said, I think you pretty much beat me on leadership, plus K Mac. You beat me on stealth, plus K Mac. You beat me on comic release, plus K Mac. Power, I got a little more plus, I think.
You got the Hulk,
I got a little more plus on the galactic level.
Quasar.
And I got plus on the mysticism. And I think I win it overall because I got more science than science is able. Because I got a computer walking around. I got 2 computers. I'm bringing science with Yellow Jacket, the Beast, the Black Panther, and the Black Knight. And a little man by the name of Bruce Banner when he wants to be Bruce Banner. And I got 2 computers on the team.
Let's be honest. Comics are about smashing things, not sciencey stuff.
Yeah. I'm making sciencey things that can smash. But I don't know. We'll let the fan out there and decide. But I think overall we did a pretty good draft. As you were mentioning, who would you have taken if you had 2 more picks, Kevin?
Oh boy, if I had 2 more picks, I would have taken. Well, if I had 3 more picks, right? I would have liked to have had.
Expanding the rules. I would have token everybody.
If I had 20 more picks, this is who I would have taken. No, I would have liked to have seen on my team. I would have liked to have had Iron Fist for more mysticism, and or Doctor Strange. But I couldn't take Doctor Strange.
What do we know officially?
So he was in that new Avengers team during the time after Secret Invasion when Norman Osborn was in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, that's right.
The Avengers were living in his house, and the Avengers then consisted of Doctor Strange, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ronan, who was Hawkeye, and Echo. So, and I also would have liked to have gotten Wolverine, but I just ran out of A-list characters to take. So I would assume that Wolverine and Doctor Strange would have been A-list characters. Maybe not Doctor Strange, but he has his own movie and he had a big part in the Avengers movies, even though his comic book just got canceled. So maybe he wouldn't have been an A-list, but I would have liked to have had those three somewhere on my team.
Those are good picks.
What about you?
The thing I'm missing is I got only one bit of sexy. Two bits if you include Joe Costa with her shiny sexy. And I would have brought a little more sexy in the bald headed format and mental powers in Moondragon. Because nobody has any telepathy going on. And nothing better than a chrome dome sexy lady. So I need to bring a little more of that. And that's what I would have dropped on the team. I would have amped that up because I need some eternal sexy. And
Cersei?
I would have brought some metamorphism with a little eternal power and a little in the name of a lady named Cersei. Also bounces out my Black Knight because they were once betrothed.
Oh, that's right.
In the final, I would have amped up my cosmic power even a little bit more with even more sexy. I would have gone with Warbird, aka Miss
Carol
Marvel.
Danvers.
Carol Danvers, aka Miss Marvel, aka Binary, but in a Warbird format, joining the Avengers. That's probably what I got on. You know, it's a little sad that I couldn't get even more sexy with Tigra, but you know.
Yeah, I liked her too.
I would have balanced it out. You definitely, I didn't count your sexiness quotient, and you did beat me on sexiness quotient.
Oh,
Being
by
more,
far, not even
being more,
close.
being way better, and also way better of a man, drafting a more balanced gender representative team.
I was going to say that too. It's like,
Yeah, I'm more chauvinist that I feel bad for that now. I did get a trans species female, so I got that going for me, but that's about it.
true,
That's about
true, true. And you do have a mutant too. You have two mutants.
it. I do.
I don't have any mutants, and I'm an X-Men guy.
We go back to the beginning of the episode where we realized K-Mac really is a mutant hater.
Yeah, I've been outed. Uh, yeah, these are good teams though. I win hands down, but these are good teams.
I think they could take on pretty much anything that the universe is throwing at them on both sides. So
Yeah,
whether it be Kang, whether it be Doctor Doom, whether it be Mortis, whether it be Masters of Evil, I think we're pretty good overall.
yeah. And your team would be a great West Coast team to my East Coast team.
West Coast in the house. maybe Moon Base, or when they set up that base at the end of the universe near Pluto, hanging out. Yeah, we didn't. No one drafted Photon slash Captain Marvel 2.
Right? She was a leader. She was a
Oh,
chairman.
Chairman. That's the one. That was my one. I was holding back on, maybe thinking about taking on, but then when I realized I needed a little more power, I went with the Hulk.
Right.
But
I
I
haven't read enough stories with her in it, but I want to get into those Nebula stories that where she's involved and she's I guess becomes the chairman after that, doesn't she?
yeah, it's the mid late '80s, early '90s. Yeah, yeah, that's when she took up the chairmanship. Because she comes in as one of the first actual Avengers trainees when Guy
Oh,
Ritchie and they imposed that 7-person rule, but they're like, well, we can get away with trainees, right? And so she comes in with Star Fox and as a trainee, and where Star Fox is all about the adventures and fun, she actually studies all the tapes, learns all the villains, learns all their weaknesses. And Star Fox, also comic relief, and could have been a comic relief. Also was considered by me.
if he was on my team, I'd have some problems for sure.
Well, he did try to make out with all the people on your
All of
team
them. Yep.
at one time or the other.
Wasp and She-Hulk
Yeah.
and Black Widow.
So that's pretty impressive. So
Yeah, these are
that's where
good teams.
yeah, they're pretty solid, pretty solid. So I can't decide. Like I said, I gave my vote to myself, of course, but I'm always going to give myself to my vote. So the band out there, if you're listening out there in podcast land, please write into us and vote or tweet at us. Once again, that email address is
It's cbcopodcast at gmail.com, and you can find us on Twitter at cbco_podcast. And this episode will be posted on there as well as soon as, we're done editing and we put it out.
in honor of our double snake draft. All right, I'm gonna let you, since you did 2 beers, you're gonna rate your first beer, then I'll rate my beer. On a scale of Avengers bases being Avengers Mansion, Hydrobase, West Coast based, or Great Lakes base. That's all the bases they've had, right? Yeah, and,
They have Avengers Tower.
or Pluto base, Avengers. Where do you rate your first beer? And remind us what beer it was.
All right. So, which one is the best rating?
That's for you to describe.
Oh, geez. All right. So, this beer is like Avenger. I like Avengers Tower. I thought Avengers Tower was fun. I'm a movie guy too. I like the movies. So,
So Avengers Tower, that was your first beer. Which beer was this?
my first beer was Peer Pressure from Mason Ale Works. It was the Hazy IPA. It is such a good beer. Whatever the highest rating is, I will give it that.
Well, you gotta say what. So you're saying Avengers Tower, the funky tower that Tony Stark built downtown Manhattan.
Correct.
Pretty sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, I've never read anything with the Pluto base. Otherwise, I might include that because that sounds pretty
It's a Joker
badass.
base out in the middle of nowhere with just Quasar and Living Lightning hang out and watch for things at the edge of the universe.
Forget that then. The that second beer I had, the Respeto from Mason Ale Works, is more like I would say Hydrobase. It's pretty good. Um, I'm probably not going to get that much of it. Hydrobase didn't last that long; it only lasted a few issues. Respecto would be really good if I had something to eat with it. It's not a beer that stands well on its own, but I mean, I still really liked it. But it's not. I didn't like it as much as the peer pressure. So definitely a hydro base for Respecto.
Solid entry. Let you fly your Quinjets out there anytime you want. Hang out on the beach, drink a few, but not as good as the peer pressure tower base. I'm gonna go with a rating on my vision scale. So, like I said, Victor Slade, White Vision, Green Vision, Paul Bentley, screen version of Vision, Intangible. I'm gonna go, yeah, like I said, turn my molecules and my density down to 0. I'm going, this beer is amazing. You can't touch it. That's how good it is. For Rocket Surgery from Aslan Brewing out of here in Herndon and Alexandria. This is, I've, like I said, never had a, I've probably had dry hop beers, but I've never had one like this. It's double dry hop where it's just, really hoppy, but you can't taste the hops until it's after, and it doesn't bitter your tongue. Double pale ale, so as you can tell, I'm having a fun time here. So it's double alcohol, but it literally does evaporate in your tongue with the hops. It doesn't sit there and hang on your tongue. It is not dank like those beer advocate people you read about talk about, but it is got enough hops. If you're a hophead, you'll like it. It's smooth, mellow, and you could drink a lot of them when it's warm out. So Rocket Surgery, hit it up if you can, kids.
And that's what I like about peer pressure. It's not very hoppy. I don't really do well with lots of
Yeah,
hops.
not really a hop. Yeah, the dank, which would be a good villain for the Avengers.
Yeah, your team couldn't beat the dank. That's for
Oh,
sure.
we bring in the mysticism. We got the dank covered. You just give me Black Knight's Knight Sword. I'm gonna swing through it all.
He's not mystic if he has a sword. That doesn't make him
No,
mystic.
go back and read it. He is involved in all the mystical things. He is considered part of the Marvel Mystic universe. He is always hanging out with Doctor Strange, who recruits him because he can cut through anything with that sword. That also makes the blood wraith and all the good stuff.
So if Beast picked up the sword, Beast would be part of the mystical Marvel universe. That's
No,
what you're saying.
he'd be part of the mystical fun universe.
So you should have just drafted the Ebony
Not
Blade instead of Black
everybody
Knight.
can pick up the ebony blade. Only the people who are rightful heirs to it. If anyone else picks it up, they go crazy and kill people. With the exception of the Valkyrie, when he got turned to stone with the Avengers, Valkyrie borrowed his blade for a while, and he was like, "Hey, a nice blade." When they finally met up, and they freed him for it, really classic '70s tome. Pretty good to read up, but definitely part of Marvel Mystic. Was involved in the mini series that was like Marvel Magic that involved a comic about him, one about Magic, the New Mutant,
The mutant, yeah.
yeah,
Ileana Rasputin.
yeah, and also one of the newer Marvel Mystic people that I didn't know about. But yeah, centered on him or his ancestor wielding the Ebony Blade and how important the Ebony Blade is into the Marvel Mystic universe.
Well, fair enough. He's got a sword. We can count him. So.
It's very sharp.
All right, man.
Okay, well, we ran our beers. We drafted our teams. We gave you the information on how to contact us. As always, this was a fun time talking with the UK Mac and going over, how we would draft these teams for the fantasy world of the Avengers. I'm pumped. We'll do this again sometime with other teams and possibly other universes, other villains.
And possibly a guest. Maybe we'll have a guest on to draft with
Well, we
us.
have to go 3 rounds, 3 deep to keep it going. So yeah, we might need a
Yeah.
guest to draft this one out. So, but we drank some good beers, had some good time, told some stories. Anything you're reading now that you want to tell the kids out there?
Well, I was reading. I told you before, Matt Fraction's Hawkeye: My Life as a Weapon. Haven't finished the series yet, but really, really good. I'd recommend that to anyone. I finished Tom King's run on Batman, which I really liked. I really liked it. I think it started off stronger than it finished, but I think the beginning is good enough that it makes up for how the end felt kind of rushed. And that's pretty much what I've read since the last time we've had a talk like this. So, not much time to read anything but Avengers. I was obviously frantically looking through Avengers and Avengers West Coast to see there's a diamond in the rough for this draft. But yeah, I would recommend both of those stories, especially the Hawkeye one is really good. And Matt Fraction and Ed Brubaker also wrote an Iron Fist book in the early or mid 2000s that is really, really good. And I'd recommend that to anyone too. They fight classic Hydra, not Nazi Hydra, but classic Hydra.
Nice.
Yeah, really fun. Really fun. What about you?
I've been working through the early 2000 runs of the Avengers with Busick's classic run on that series, and also reading up on my 70s Batman, getting whacked in the back of the head by different people, and also the classic 1980s series, The Who's Who of the DC Universe. Since I got the DC app, I've been reading that up. It's always fun to read about new characters that you didn't know about. So sometimes we'll have to go over this from the wacky characters, but that's where I'm at right now. Closing out the summer, getting ready for my fantasy drafts and my fantasy Avengers draft. So, once again, for everyone out there in podcast land, I'm Yak.
And I'm K-Mac.
Chat with you guys again soon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Later.